With me today is a brand new 2019 Mazda CX-5. And the CX-5 is arguably the most important model that Mazda makes, and that's because in 2018, Mazda sold more CX-5s than all the other models combined. And this happens to be in a very hot and very competitive segment, the compact SUV segment. And that is populated with the Toyota RAV4 and also Honda CR-V. So today I'll be showing you guys the ins and outs of the CX-5, also take her out on the road to see how she drives, and finally conclude with the good and bad and the ugly so you guys could decide if this CX-5 is the right SUV for you. Stay tuned. I want to give a big shout out to my friends at Oaklawn Mazda, which made this review possible. For more information, make sure you click on their link in the description of this video. So to get started, let's take a look at the side view of the CX-5. And to me, it looks pretty good. I like the overall shape. I like the high belt line. It gives it that sporty look. And overall, the contrast between the black and the white really pops out. And because this is the Signature Edition, which is the highest edition you could get on a CX-5, you go get a few extras, including these gorgeous looking 19-inch alloy wheels. They have a really beautiful design, and also it has this smoke chrome finish, which is really unique. And plus on top, you do see this aluminum integrated roof rail, which looks really nice, and this matches with the chrome trim that's on the bottom of the window. But overall, no complaints. I like the side look of the CX-5. What do you guys think? So moving towards the front, this is a good looking front end, and the design language is across all the Mazda SUVs and sedans out there. And you do get a huge opening in the middle, you get a huge emblem, right? And then you do see this chrome trim that goes all the way around, goes underneath the headlights. You do get HID headlights, and you get a lot of daytime running lights. You actually get a halo that's around the headlight itself, and also up here and on the side. And toward the bottom of the bumper, it's pretty plain, but you do get parking sensors across. Now moving to the backside, right away you do see these nice looking smoked out taillights, which I enjoy. You do see the roof kind of slant down, and with that and a wider lower end, kind of gives it that sporty look. And overall, you do have dual exhaust and parking sensors, and that's pretty much it back here. All right, so here's a look of the trunk, and surprisingly, this is bigger than I expected. There's actually a lot. Ample room back here. There's not a whole lot of storage. Under here is the spare tire, so you don't get storage under there. You do get a couple small storage areas on the side, on both sides. And outside of that, that's pretty much it. You do have these latches that actually fold down the second row, and you guys can see there are 3 seat tethers, including one in the middle. Real quick, let me show you this brand new 2.5 liter turbo engine that Mazda put in the Signature and the Grand Touring Reserve editions of the CX-5. This gives you options. In terms of if you wanted to use premium gas, you get about 250 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. But if you didn't want to use premium gas, you want to use regular fuel, you get 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. So it's really up to you guys. Can't wait to take this new engine out on the road and see how this Mazda performs. All right, so I'm in the second row, and you get a good amount of space back here. I am 5'10". This is my normal sitting position, so you can see there's a couple inches left in leg room. Headroom plenty. Shoulder room, hip room is good, and these seat cushions actually feel really comfortable. And because this is the Signature Edition, you get that leather smell. There's leather all around you, and it actually feels and looks really good. Everything is soft touch, and also you do get a pair of vents over here. The sunroof is not panoramic, so it doesn't go all the way to the back, so up here is pretty plain. I do want to show you guys the center armrest, because there's a lot that you get in the center armrest. And those of you guys that are parents, you do get 2 seat latches on both sides, not in the middle, but you do get the back one in the middle. So let me show you the armrest. This is pretty nice. You fold it down. Of course, you can put your arms on here. You do get a couple of cup holders, and you can control your heated seats back here because this is the Signature Edition. And you get this. You get a place to put your phone and 2 USB ports over here, which is really nice. And lastly, let me show you, this whole thing folds down. If you pull this, it folds down, and that is really nice. So if you had something long that you wanted to store, you could just simply fold down the middle, and you don't have to worry about an opening in the middle or anything like that. The whole thing falls completely flat. And before getting in, I wanted to show you guys a few things that really stand out. First of all, look at these seat controls. They are nice aluminum. Some of the other cars I tested, I made fun of the fact that the seat controls look kind of cheap and people always got on my case. But Mazda obviously recognized that because it is the first thing you see when you enter a car. So I'm really impressed with these seat controls. Also, your memory seats are over here, which is a different position. A lot of cars is up here or over here. And overall, you get a nice wood trim and this aluminum trim and handles. You could tell right away, this is a luxurious look. And let me show you what it looks like once I get in. Now, I'm behind the wheel of the CX-5, and I gotta say, it's very impressive in here. Let me cover up this Mazda sign. Just take a look for yourself as I pan through. I mean, this does not look like it belongs in a compact SUV. In fact, it looks like it belongs in something like an Audi or a Lexus or something that's in the luxury market, and this is not. It is very impressive. If you look at the gauge cluster, it's kind of deceiving, but the middle one, the middle large one, is digital, and the sides are analog, and it's a good look. And the steering wheel is very impressive. I really like the design, very modern looking. I really like the design, and you can control a lot of things. The phone, you know, the volume, and whether or not you're moving forward, backwards, or the music. And then also this is for the intelligent cruise control, and you can set the cruise control and the modes. So overall, this is a good looking steering wheel. And of course, you get a screen to control the media. You do get these lovely vents, right, that are surrounded in aluminum. They look absolutely gorgeous to me. All right, so moving down here, you do see the climate control. This is pretty usual. You do have your heated seats over here, right? And then you also get your heated steering wheel over here. Now moving on to the shifter, in this area, you get a nice black surround. And thank God, Mazda stuck with the traditional shifter. I don't know why all the other manufacturers are going with buttons or doing something unusual. This works, and you don't have to learn it. It just works. You can go manual mode if you move to the side, and here you can put the car in the sport mode. And over here you can control the volume. This is for the electronic brake, and this is to control the entertainment center over here, right? So this does take getting used to. So rather than a lot of modern cars where you can just use your hand and do touchscreen, right? Here you do have to work with the knobs and so forth. And one thing that it took me a while to find is this volume control, right? This is a big deal now these days because manufacturers first removed them, then people hated it, manufacturers brought it back, and most people would be digging, you know, somewhere over here, right? Or by the screen, but it is over here, but at least you do get it. And then you get a couple big cup holders. All right, moving on to the armrest here. So you open it up, you do get a coin tray, which is removable. And then here's sizable space, and then you get a couple of USB and also outlet. Up here, you do get a sunroof. It is not a panoramic one, it is just a regular one. And you get some controls here. This is pretty standard. All right, so I'm out on the road. First thing I notice is the heads-up display, which is really nice. And I've driven a lot of luxury cars and cars that's much more expensive than this one, where that's not even an option, and I don't know why. And it is something that's right in your face. It's like magical, like it's in front of you, and it'll let you know where you're going, which is really, really nice. Now also, something I'm noticing right away is the windshield. The windshield, even though it's sloped down, it is actually very massive. Your range of view is actually really good. That's surprising because you figure a lot of these modern cars, they have a lower roof, right? They try to shrink things, make it feel more cozy. Not in the case of the CX-5. I actually get a really good view all around me, and I really enjoy that. I love SUVs and cars overall where your view is not hindered, right? And it gives you that better drive, the better feel, right? Now, because this is a Signature Edition, you're getting a whole lot. You get radar controlled cruise control, you get blind spot monitoring, you get a 360 camera, you get all the latest gadgets and so forth. The turbo engine, it's lively, gives you plenty of torque, but it is louder. It is louder. It's louder than I expect, so they don't really mute that. And not loud in a good exhaust kind of way. It's loud in terms of just coming from the engine kind of way. So heads-up display just warned me. It thought I was too close to the car ahead of me. It warned me to brake, so that's where that's going to kick in if you don't actually brake. So that's pretty nice. Overall, the brake feels pretty good. Linear feel, not mushy, and I do like that. And the steering right now, I mean, one of the best parts about a Mazda is the steering feel. A lot of people think that the Japanese manufacturers, the big three, are all kind of too light, right? And for Mazda, it's always geared. Mazda has always geared their cars to be more on the sporty side, almost like the BMW of the Japanese market. And overall, steering is nice and tight, and it's a good feel, which I really enjoy. And I kind of made an aggressive turn right there, and my camera even moved. There's not a whole lot of body roll. I mean, for an SUV, this is not too high off the ground. It is kind of low to the ground, but it's pretty good. You don't get a lot of body roll in here. The suspension, I gotta say, because it is on the sporty side, I can feel a tad more bumps. I could feel the bumps a bit more than some of the other SUVs I've driven. So that's kind of the trade-off, right? If you want that sportiness, that ability to kind of make these sharper turns without body roll, there's gonna be a sacrifice. So I do feel the suspension a bit more. It's interesting, on the side here, there is a view button, all right? So normally, if you put the car into reverse, you can see behind you, and you can also see a 360 view around your car, right? So with this button, you can actually press it. So while I'm in drive, I could actually see ahead of me and behind me and all that stuff. So it's kind of interesting. I've never seen that in a car before, where you could turn that on while you're in drive. Of course, though, when you're driving, it does actually just switch off. I love this heads-up display. If you want to set like your radar, cruise control, or any of the options, it comes up on there, so you're not distracted. So in terms of turn signals, one thing I loved about Volvo's was the fact that it was a digital turn signal, but it made an analog sound. And in this CX-5, you get an analog turn signal, but you get a digital sounding analog sound, if that makes sense. To conclude, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about this CX-5. Now, the good, I'm super impressed with a lot of stuff, specifically the interior, the build quality. On a compact SUV that's not in the luxury segment, this is really impressive. In terms of the vents, the dash layout, the console, to steering wheel, and the leather throughout, it makes you feel like you're in a car that is a lot more expensive than it is. And I'll get to the price in a little bit. And also, this heads-up display is awesome. It's awesome. It is really, really bright. You can see it, and you get to see a whole bunch of stuff like blind spot monitoring, right? Rather than see it on the mirrors, you actually see it right in front of you. It is really nice. And when you're doing anything with your cruise control and stuff, it's all in front of you. So I'm super impressed with that. And I can't figure out why some of these other manufacturers don't even have that as an option. In terms of the outside, I think this is a good look. Overall, I think the Mazda look is a nice modern look. And inside, up here, really good driving position, plenty of space, second row, decent amount of space, not the biggest, but decent amount. I could fit back there, 2 adults could fit back there. And you get a good amount of trunk space as well. So overall, in terms of the size, it's definitely not one of those huge 3-row monster SUVs. This is a nice compact SUV that you get plenty of space. So in terms of the good, you're getting a lot. And there's little details like the buttons, right, for the seat controls. Like, they look gorgeous. Not a whole lot of manufacturers concentrate on things like that, and that impresses me. Now, in terms of the bad, there's just a few, like the volume knob being over here. I think it takes getting used to. Most people want to do it up here. Of course, you have it on your steering wheel, but over here it takes time to get used to. And the sunroof, right? It's not a panoramic one that you would see in a lot of cars these days. But outside of those things, little things like that, I mean, there's no other bad. And in terms of the ugly, there's certainly none. There's nothing that I see that's really ugly that needs to be changed right away. Now, lastly, in terms of the price, this one comes in right around $38,000, and that's what you would expect for a signature edition of the CX-5. You're getting a whole lot. You're definitely getting a whole lot, and you're paying a lot less than a luxury compact SUV that you're not even getting the same amount of features in. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for my future videos. All right, take care. Bye-bye.